Greetings. With this video, we want to introduce a brand new module for Bible Analyzer. This is an image bundle by a man named James Tissot. And Tissot was a French painter and illustrator back in the 19th century, and he actually painted more high society and fashion paintings than anything else in his early life. But when he was around 50 years old, he had a religious conversion of sorts and decided that he needed to spend his energies painting scenes from the Bible. And so he spent the next 10 years of his life going to Palestine and painting hundreds of images. He said he read through the Gospels over 100 times just trying to get his mind set where it needed to be to make these images. And he turned these into a book. This book was called The Life of Our Savior Jesus Christ. And it's a powerful book. And it has these images in color, which would have really been outstanding back in the 19th century. But we have over 100 of these images, and we'll look at just a few of them as examples here. But also these images are interactive. If you'll see this yellow area, this is a hotspot, and each image has a hotspot up in this corner, and it will have the relevant verse for that image. Also, there's another hotspot on this page. You put the mouse cursor over this area, and you can actually read the entire introduction to his book, where he gives his reasons and his methods for painting the pictures. Let's look at a couple of them here. For instance, here is Mary. Here's Mary's prayer. Let's put these in so you can see the whole thing. In the book, this was just like took up half a page, but this is Mary's prayer after she was told that she was going to have a child. But look at the detail. Look at the collar. You just study the faces in these images and study all the surrounding details. They're amazing. Take a look. Here's the wise men. The wise men coming from the east, and they're coming in their camels, and he's got the actual area that they would have traveled. These are the actual roads that they would have traveled, and he would sketch these areas to do that. Also, you'll have lots of images of Christ, of course, since this book is about him. Here he is among the doctors when he was lost, when they came back to Egypt, or he thought he was lost, and all the Pharisees and doctors, and he was asking them questions, and they were asking him questions. Here he is as a youth working as a carpenter. But again, just look at the detail in these images. And these are watercolors. They're not even oil paintings. They're watercolors. And it's amazing. All the attention to detail in the faces. Let's take a look at another one. Here he is. He's calling his disciples, James and Andrew. Of course, they're out in the sea. Here he's on the Sermon on the Mount. It has lots of images that deal with, his life, but probably half of the images deal with the week, what they call the Passion Week, up to his death. Here he is asleep during the storm. Here he is healing a possessed man. Look at the detail in these faces. Look at the possessed man's face. Look at him. Look at all of these faces. I mean, the man was a master artist, and he spent a lot of time studying the human form. Let's look at another one here. Here he is teaching by the sea. He said that when he was at the Sea of Galilee, he saw this rock in the area where Jesus ministered, and he said he could just imagine Christ sitting on that rock. So he sketched that rock and the background, and it very easily could be a very place where Christ would have taught people, because it would have put him up to where they could see him better. It's amazing. It's amazing. Here they are picking up stones to stone him. And again, all of these verses, let me make this one full size, all these have, in the little hot spot up here, have the relevant verses, and if you click that verse, it will come up over here in the Bible Analyzer main window. We go on down. You can see where he has his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. We'll shrink it back down to full size. And then you have where he has the things of the Last Supper, the Lord's Supper, washing the feet, and all of that. He's in the garden. That's where the angels came and ministered him because all the disciples left him. Then you have more images like here he is before Pilate. He comes up before Pilate, all bound as a prisoner, Then he comes to Pilate again. This image always fascinates me because look, Pilate is judging Jesus Christ, but we all know that one day soon the roles are going to be reversed and Christ will be over here and Pilate will be there, just like we will be there. And then you have where he was scourged, which is a terrible thing. You'll have even Tissot had captivating images where Christ would be looking right into the viewer. Like here he was traveling from Caiaphas back to Pilate. He's looking right into the viewer. Then we go on, probably the most famous picture of Tissot in this whole book was the one where he, let me find it here, the view from the cross. And this was a revolutionary image back in that time because it's not a picture of looking up at the cross. There are thousands of those. It was what Christ could have seen when he was looking down at the people. And this is a high resolution image. I made it bigger than all the rest. And we'll just look at a couple things here. Look, here's Christ's feet. The only part of him seen is his feet. This is Mary Magdalene. See her hair? Look here. This is John the apostle, the only one that was there. Over here, that's Mary. And then these two, we're not sure who they are, but just some of the holy women that the scriptures would mention. What we have here, the centurion who later said that Jesus Christ was a righteous man. But look at the faces. Here's another Roman soldier. Look at the scribes and the Pharisees over here. They're all mockery. But notice their faces. Some of them are looking, some of them are jeering, some of them are mockery, but then look at this one. He's looking up at the sky. What was happening at the sky at that time? It was getting darker and darker and darker. Amazing, the attention to detail in all these images. But anyway, these images are available for Bible Analyzer. There are over 100 of them. You can see they're very colorful. They're in high detail, and they tell a story. They tell the greatest story ever told, actually. And we just thought we would make this available. I mean, look at the color. Look at all the color and the attention to detail in this one image. But we want to make this available to people, and just so we can try to get the message of Christ out as much as we can throughout the world. All right. Thank you.